there, my name is Lauren Osgood, and I'm an attorney here at the Bainbridge firm. And I wanted to welcome you all to the Bainbridge channel. I am here today to talk to you about the first point of which you may wonder whether you have an Ohio workers' compensation claim. So typically speaking, what happens when you are hurt at work is the first step is filing a claim with the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. This can be done in any number of ways. You may be asking yourself, what happens if I go to the hospital? And that's a very great question. And what typically happens is if you go to the hospital immediately and you report to the hospital that you were injured at work, a lot of times they will initiate the filing of a claim on your behalf. This simply involves filing a form with the Bureau of Workers' Compensation that will then be sent to your employer and notify them of your injury. If you do not go to the hospital or seek treatment right away, you may be responsible for filing the necessary paperwork to get a workers' compensation claim started on your behalf. The Bureau of Workers' Compensation in Ohio has several ways that allow injured workers to make a report. The first way and the easiest way is to complete paperwork through the Bureau of Workers' Compensation's website. They in fact have what is called a first report of injury accessible on their website. However, if that is not an option for you, you can call the Bureau of Workers' Compensation and make a report over the phone. And if that is not possible, they will send you a form that you can complete and send into the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. The most important thing, regardless of whether you file a report with the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation right away, is making sure that you complete an accident report either with your employer or with the hospital to let them know what happened as soon as you possibly can. This will eliminate any question as to whether the injury took place as you have described it. So the first step is making the report that an injury actually took place. You may be wondering whether you should do this even if the injury seems to be minor. And I would recommend that you make a report of any injury that you sustain while working. If it does not require any type of treatment, or if you do not seek medical care, that is okay. But it's always better to have it reported as opposed to waiting and then making a report sometime later. So I always recommend getting an accident report completed on the same day, and if not the same day, as soon after the injury as possible. A lot of people ask the question as to whether they qualify for Ohio workers' compensation coverage. If you are working in the state of Ohio, or if you are injured while working for an employer that is housed in Ohio, you would qualify for Ohio workers' compensation benefits. If there's any question about whether you would have an Ohio claim or an out-of-state claim, I would always recommend checking in with an attorney or checking in with the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation to determine whether you in fact have an Ohio claim or whether a claim has already been initiated in another state. You cannot have a claim in Ohio while also having a claim filed in another state. The initial steps for filing a workers' compensation claim involve notification to the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation that an injury has taken place. After you have notified the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, communication will be sent out to you and to your employer to let them know that a claim has been filed on your behalf. There is typically a period of time where it may seem that nothing is happening once the claim number has been established and once the initial notification has been sent out. But what is typically happening behind the scenes is your employer initially has to make a determination about whether they would like to accept the claim or deny the claim. It is important that you pay close attention to any and all communications you may get from your employer's representative or from the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. These letters and communications will notify you as to whether you will have an allowed claim or whether a hearing will be necessary to determine whether your claim will be allowed or denied. It's important to pay attention to the timing of the letters and what the letters actually tell you. If you have a claim that has been accepted by your employer, you will receive communication to notify you that the claim has been allowed and what specific conditions the claim has been allowed for. If your claim has been denied, you'll be notified of the denial. It may be necessary for you to file an appeal within 14 days of receiving that denial. This is very, very important. If you would like to preserve your rights to a claim, you must file an appeal within that period of time. As always, we look forward to helping you and answering your questions in the future. Thank you.